booties for black girl nerds.
Mike, thank you so much for your time today. And I'm very intrigued by the Turners and how our relationship will deepen with them in this second season.
Mm.
Beginning with Leanne, when we were first introduced to her in season one, it seems like her approach was more fear driven, well, and that aloofness was attached to that. As we move into the second season and learn more about where she's come from, will she continue on that trend, or will her aloofness be more by design?
Yeah, the idea of it's fascinating the way you're asking these questions because I feel like the show, I aspired to have the show be about a young woman that becomes a woman, and you're actually watching the actress aging and becoming that person over the years of the series. Nell, it was 19, and then is growing and will be in her lower 20s when we're done, and to see someone kind of become themselves as you're watching them figure it out and make mistakes and deal with their flaws and their limitations and their anger and then their beauty and their intellect and how that's balanced is I find it so beautiful. So in some ways it's a very genre kind of coming of age piece. So you'll see her become more and more confident in herself.
With Julian, he had so much skepticism about everything, and he just was completely unwavering. Will he loosen the reins up a little bit and allow himself to see more of what everyone else is seeing, or is he there to keep them on their toes, so to speak?
Understood. For me, the show is about a family that's refusing to mourn something that's happened, and that includes Dorothy, Sean, and Julian. And I think he's struggled with addiction, and he struggled with what he saw on that day and when the tragedy happened. And I think his cynicism comes as a defense mechanism, a kind of a nihilism comes from it. But you will definitely see a big shift in that in the episodes to come.
And lastly, our married couple, Dorothy and Sean, it's almost like they've switched roles. Dorothy was
Yeah.
so hurt and so upset, and now she's kind of stepped in more in this authoritative boss role like she was when she was a journalist before the baby. And now we see Sean, who was not very likable. I'm feeling a little more empathy for him. And as these other senses are removed to him, maybe other senses are becoming heightened.
Mm.
How is their relationship dynamic going to change in season two?
It's wild that you say that because that was the aspiration that they almost kind of switch roles. One that believing in something that maybe isn't real, and then the other one switches and starts to believe in something that maybe is not real. And one's the grounded person saying, "Hey, I need to tell you something. This isn't real," and that switches. And so it's a beautiful dynamic of again these two people that are not having the conversation that they need to have, and so these kind of movements of faith uh, are their way of dealing with it without actually having the conversation.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Knight. Excited to see the chatter for season two. Thank you again.
Thank you. Take care.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerds. Better shake your booties for black girl nerds.